So I got another message from a viewer and he wanted to know how you can make a drop-down menu for your Drupal site and of course for your Drupal theme. And this is great because this ties in nicely with the subject of today's tutorial, and that subject is taxonomies. So today we are going to learn how you can make taxonomies on your site, what taxonomies actually are, how you can display them with views, and how you can make a drop-down menu that link to those taxonomies. As you will see, taxonomies are going to go very nicely with the theme of our site. So first of all, what are taxonomies? So taxonomies are a way of grouping your content into some meaningful groups. And the better way to say this is just they're basically categories and tags. So Drupal comes with taxonomies out of the box, and you can make different types of taxonomies for different types of content. Of course, you can group your content by content types, but you can also group them by taxonomies. And in our case, that is great because we are dealing with movies here, and movies have genres. So if I click on taxonomy, we can make new taxonomy. Actually, Drupal calls it vocabulary. We can make a vocabulary for our movies, and that vocabulary would be genres. So let's click on add vocabulary and just add a name. So genre. Okay, save it. And now that this is done, we can add some terms to those genres. So I can add a term and of course call it comedy. So we have a genre of comedy, and I can add a URL alias to that term. So in our case it's going to be comedy. Okay, save it. Then we can add another one. As you can see, it doesn't bring you back to the previous page, it just lets you add those taxonomies as you wish. You can of course add a description to them. So let's say sci-fi, and we will add alias right here for sci-fi, save it. And then we can add, let's say, drama. Okay, and save it. Okay, we can go to our taxonomy, and now we have this vocabulary called genre, and we can list the terms of it. And as you can see, it's we got those lists. You can of course add more terms to it as you wish. Now we have to connect those taxonomies to our movies. So if we go to our site right now, and then we just go to movies and go to Inception and edit Inception, you will see that we don't have any fields to add a taxonomy to our movie, so add a genre to it. So what we need to do, we need to go to structure, content types, and then to movies and manage fields for those movies, and add a field so that we can reference that taxonomy for this movie. So I'm just going to click here and choose the reference and then taxonomy term. Okay, label is going to be genre, save and continue. And now how many terms do you want? We can set it to unlimited if we want. And then we are going to go right here, choose vocabulary. So vocabulary for the movies is going to be genre. And then we are also going to check this, so create referenced entities if they don't already exist. So this is a way, let's say we created sci-fi, drama, and comedy. Okay, so you don't have to go back when you check this. You don't have to go back to taxonomy and add another term. you can just add that term from that movie, and that term will automatically be added to your taxonomy terms. I will show you that. So let's just save these settings. Okay, and now if we refresh this page, we should get a taxonomy down here. So genre, and we can do sci-fi. Come on, sci-fi. Okay, save and keep published. So Inception is now tagged with sci-fi. If we go to movies and click on this other movie named Hos, we can add taxonomy to it also, but let's make it a taxonomy that we didn't add in our terms. So we're going to write crime here. So we don't yet have crime taxonomy, but when we save this, we will have that crime taxonomy. So if I save this and then go to structure, taxonomy, and then to list terms for genres, we can see that we have crime right here. So we can then use it to auto-populate our field for this genre taxonomy. Okay, so let's add, just for the hell of it, a few more taxonomies so that we can display them better. You will see what I'm talking about. So edit, and then let's say this is also sci-fi, and let's just add another one. So we go to movies and take on this movie and add the taxonomy to it also. So this is also going to be sci-fi. Okay, save and keep published. Okay, so we added some taxonomies to our movies, actually genres to our movies. Okay, so if you remember, when we created those terms, we added some URLs for them. So if we go to sci-fi and edit, you can see that we have this URL alias sci-fi. So what we can do now, we can go right here and we can write sci-fi. And now we get all the sci-fi movies that are tagged with the term of sci-fi. But of course this doesn't look very right. So let's try to fix that. So this is coming from views. If we go to structure, views, you can see that we have something down here called taxonomy term. So this is the view that is regulating what is being displayed with our taxonomy terms. So if we edit this, let's say we just want to have titles for our movies and maybe a poster. So we can click this on content, and I did this before. For some reason this doesn't work for me. It did work on content server, but there's some sort of bug that is preventing this from being displayed, and just on this taxonomy term page. So if this happens to you, try to do this. So I'm just going to go right click on content and open link new tab. So now you have this. So I'm just going to click fields, apply, okay, and apply again. Okay, now we have those fields. Let's try to add some fields. Of course it doesn't work. So I'm just going to save this. You of course wouldn't need to do any of this if so display master uses field, but there are no fields. Okay, so I'm going to open link in a new tab again and say I want to display title. Come on. I don't know why this isn't working, so I'm just going to go and look for the title. So we want the title of content. Let's add and configure fields, and then just click apply. Okay, so we can save this now, and it should work. As I said before, this may work for you, or maybe it won't. If it doesn't work for you, just right click on any link you need and then open it in a new tab. It must be some kind of Ajax bug or something like that. I'm not really sure why this doesn't work for me right now. So this should be it. So right now we're configured this view to, when we go to any taxonomy term, it will just display the movies that are tagged with that taxonomy, and it will just display their titles. So I'm just going to close all of this out, and as you can see, this page should change now to display just the titles of our movies instead of whole notes. Okay, so this works now. And if we go to something like comedy, I actually tagged one movie with the comedy tag or taxonomy, so it displays. But if we go to, also we have a crime. If we go to crime, oh, we didn't set the URL for it, so I can show you that. But if we go to drama, we should get nothing right here because we don't have any movies tagged with drama. Okay, so this is the way you can display your movies in your categories or your taxonomies or your genres. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a drop down menu right here. So when we hover over movies, it will display the list of our genres. So to do that, we of course have to go to structure, and then we go to menus, and then we go to main navigation right here. So edit this menu, and we're going to add 3 genres to our movies main tag, actually main menu item. So I'm just going to add a link right here, and I'm going to call it sci-fi, and the link is going to be sci-fi. Okay, save, and let's just add one more for comedy. So we have those 2, so comedy, and the link will be comedy. Okay, and save this also, and then we can just drag this under movies. So you can see that it's a little bit indented right here, so this should be a sub menu. Okay, save it, and if you go to your page right now and refresh it, nothing will change. So we would hope that we would get movies right here, actually genres for the movies right here, but we don't get them. So what we need to do is go to edit movies and just click this right here, show as expanded, and if you save it now, nothing will probably happen again, as it doesn't. So what you need to do next is actually go to structure and then block layout, and then search for that menu, which should be right here, and we configure that block. And as you can see, the initial menu level is 1, and the maximum number of menu levels to display is also just 1. So it will always show just the movies. So we don't want that. We want to display at least 2 levels of menus. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just going to set this to 2, and you can also set it to unlimited if you want, but I'm going to set it to 2 and save this block. Okay, and now we should get our sci-fi and comedy right here. Okay, so let's make this a drop-down menu. Now, so since everything has been going wrong with this episode, with those views, also the drop-down menu is not going so well. So when I prepared for this video, I actually wanted to show you how you can make a drop-down menu by using Foundation's CSS classes that you can add to this, and then the drop-down menu would work. So what I did was I downloaded the whole foundation, I included it in my site, I included the CSS files, JS files, and then I added specific CSS classes to our menu so that it would work with foundation, but it didn't budge. It just didn't work. It didn't show any errors, nothing. Just wasn't going to work. And I'm really not sure why. It may have something to do with the version of jQuery, but I'm not sure. So if any of the viewers know a little bit more about Foundation or any other framework and had some problems like that, please let us know in the comments how we can fix that. But since the Foundation drop-down menu isn't going to work, we're of course all front-end developers here, we're gonna make it work with our code. So we don't need Foundation to make a drop-down menu, we can make it ourselves. So let's do that. Okay, so I'm just going to open up my developer tools right now, and let's just see the HTML that we're getting from this menu. So if we click on movies, we can see that in this li tag we have this ul tag. So that's the second level of the menu. Okay, so let's go to our code. I of course started my gulp right here, and I don't know, let's just first actually go to templates, navigation, what we did in the last episode, so menu.html.twig, and let's just go right here. So whenever you have multiple levels of your menus, so you have a sub menu, you will get this UL link right here. So we can just for the hell of it add a class to it and call it sub menu. Okay, and I'm going to turn on live reload. If we refresh this now and go right here, we should get this UL class of submenu. Okay, that's great. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to open up my header.scss, and we have this main navigation right here. So I'm going, first of all, I'm going to set li to be positioned relative. Okay, so now this is positioned relative, and then I'm going to set a ul tag in it and position it absolute. Okay, so let's see what we get. Okay, this looks a little bit different right now, and I'm just going to add the width of I don't know, 200 pixels, and make the background white. Okay, this doesn't look right. Why is that? So no, I'm sorry, because I added I should have added ul to the main navigation. So this is now just white, and then in this I'm going to add an li tag and set it not to float, so float none. And since this is white and our text color is also white, I'm going to set a tag to be color blue. Or we can just take the color of our links or something like from this. So I'm just going to copy this hex right here and set it to be that blue color. Okay, now we have sci-fi and comedy right here. Okay, let's just make it a little bit prettier. So display block. Padding should be, let's say, 5 pixels. Okay, let's add a border to it. So border bottom is going to be 1 pixel solid, and okay, so we have that. And let me see if we have a hover effect. No, let's just make a hover effect on it. So I'm just going to add a hover right here, hover, and set background to be this color, but the text is going to be white, color of white. So if we go over it right now, it should look something like this. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn off that text decoration, none, so that we don't get this line under our text. Okay, so we have a menu right now. Now we have to use jQuery to make this, when we hover over movies, to display our menu. Of course, I'm going to make this UL display none, so we don't want to show it until we actually hover over it. And then I'm going to open my main.js file, so this one, and then I'm going to do something like, let me see, so let's do something like, what is this menu called, just so we can target it with our jQuery. It has a class of menu, but it should have some specific identifier, so I'm just going to take this one right here. So let's do this. Okay, so block and dim in menu ID. Okay, and just do hover function, and then not actually hover on the menu, but we have to hover on the A link. So I'm going to do lia, so we are going to hover over lia link, and then we're just going to do this parent, because we are going one step. As you can see, if we check out this code, so we have this A tag right here, and the submenu is actually in this li tag. So we have to go parent to target the li tag, and then we find submenu. And maybe we can do something just like, I don't know, toggle. Let's try that. See what we get. So wait for the page to refresh. Okay. And that didn't work. I must have done something wrong. Let me just see. That. Let's hope it works now. Okay, and now we get this. Of course, we have some problems with it because there's a gap right here, so this is disappearing. So what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna target just the li element, since the submenu is in this li, and then I don't need this parent right here. And just save this, wait for the page to refresh, and now it should work. Of course, you can do a little bit more styling on all of this as you please. You can add some caret right here, or some kind of an arrow or something to uh, to visually represent that this is a drop down menu and so on. But for now we're just going to leave it like this. And now we have our drop down menu, and if we go to sci-fi, we should get the list of our sci-fi movies, and if we go to comedy, we should get the list of our comedy movies, and so on. So this is it for displaying taxonomies and making taxonomies and making a drop down menu. Just remember that all the code that we used in this tutorial is available for you in on the GitHub repository. The link will be in the description below. Thank you guys for watching. Please follow me on Twitter or on Facebook. Like this video if you liked it. Like this channel, actually subscribe to this channel if you liked the content I put out. And that's about it for this episode. So I'll see you in the next one.